just out of respect for the Buddha, not just in memory of the Buddha, but also so that we can become more like the Buddha with every day. So every day we're trying to develop the Buddha qualities within ourselves. So our own Buddha nature, our own nature of being like the Buddha, of being similar to the Buddha. So every single one of us has within ourselves the same nature that the Buddha has. It's hard for us to see because we're confused and we're lost in our defilements, our kilesas. So when we're caught up in greed, when we're caught up in hatred, when we're caught up in confusion, then sometimes we forget. We forget that on the inside we're not so different from the Buddha. Sometimes we forget that we have the same nature that the Buddha has. So gatherings like this are a way of reminding ourselves that we have the ability to be just like the Buddha. We have the ability to develop the same wisdom, the same compassion, the same mindfulness, the same equanimity, the same samadhi that the Buddha had. Every single one of us can do that. So it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female or otherwise. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what your parents were like. It doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter how much education you have, whether you have no education or a lot of education, no money or a lot of money. None of that matters. What matters is knowing that every single one of us can become just like the Buddha. All it takes is practice and dedication. All it takes is persistence. So knowing the right path and walking that path. So every moment of every day we follow in the footsteps of the Buddha. We walk the path of the Buddha. And that path is the Noble Eightfold Path. So these 8 aspects of so right view, Samma Ditti. This means first developing a basic intellectual understanding of the Buddha's teachings. So reading the suttas, reading Dhamma books, listening to Dhamma talks, that helps us develop a basic Samma Ditti, a basic right view. And then we constantly reflect on what we've learned. We reflect on the teachings of the Buddha. We think about them. We discuss them with others. We go to the Sangha and we ask questions. So always trying to sharpen and develop our right view. Always trying to think more deeply about it. And also trying to know it for ourselves. So the Buddha said things like, everything is impermanent. Sabbe sankhara anicca. So all things are impermanent. All things change. All things are just as illusory as a lump of foam. So what does that mean? Well, you might think you know what it means in your mind, but to really feel for yourself that everything is constantly changing, that's right view. That's really understanding the Buddha's teachings. Where the Buddha talks about loving kindness, he talks about metta and karuna, so loving kindness and compassion. But it's one thing to know that, and it's something else to live it. It's something else to feel that kindness in your heart. It's something else to know for yourself the happiness that comes from the kindness and compassion that we can develop for ourselves. And right attitude. So the attitude of contentment, and the attitude of kindness, the attitude of compassion. So always having this attitude in mind as we go through our life, and seeing the happiness and contentment it brings. Then right speech, right action, right livelihood, these are all connected to the 5 precepts. So these basic practices of not hurting anyone with our body, with our speech, and not even thinking bad thoughts. So as much as possible, we don't even think about hurting people or stealing from people or lying to people. As much as possible, we try to always have a pure mind. And then from that pure mind, we have pure actions. So not hurting anyone and always trying to help the people that we meet. And we make this constant effort to purify our mind, this constant effort to bring up good mind states, so kusala chitta, so the wholesome mind, so the mind of kindness, bringing up the mind of awareness, developing a stable mind, an undistracted mind. So always trying to build up the wholesome qualities of mind, the kusala chitta,